Ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes in the property industry? Well, with me now is recruitment expert James Hanson from Cherry Pick People to explain. James, thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, first off, for negotiators, surveyors, those who are just starting out, what would you recommend, a small company or perhaps a larger one?
It depends on the person themselves. Sometimes you'll get the benefits of a large firm having lots of structure and process and organisation, which some people will really thrive off. But some people will want to, sort of flourish and have the benefits of having that variety that you might get from working for a smaller boutique independent firm, whether that be as a surveyor or whether that be as an estate agent. And I came into the sector myself straight out of university and worked for a medium-sized firm in the London market as an estate agent. And I really reaped the benefits of it. There was enough structure and process there to really give me some guidance and some good grounding, but there was also the flexibility there and the development of the firm so I could grow with them. So it really does depend, what the preference is.
So as an industry, is the property industry quite cutthroat, or what's it like?
That's certainly the view of probably past years, but it's probably born out of more of the estate agency side of the business or the sharper end sort of sales side. But I think post-recession of 2008 and since then, really firms even in that space in the sector have had to change and adapt, and it's become a much more sort of customer-orientated, customer service-focused role where you really have to develop relationships, long-term relationships, and retain them. And working in cutthroat ways, cutthroat practices, and being like that with your staff just really doesn't sort of allow you to grow your business, develop, and operate in today's world. So I can see why people may think that, and that is certainly the view from many years back, but actually speaking, for the majority of the clients I operate with, that would certainly not be the case, no.
Well, that leads me quite nicely onto my next question. And I know you shouldn't generalise, but what sort of people make it in the property industry? Do they have to be very sort of people-oriented? Yeah,
it's quite a general question, I suppose, and it does depend on, the type of role you're going to be doing. If you're working in construction or sort of site management and that sort of thing, it would be a very different skill set to front-end sales, for example, or customer service. So it's very hard to sort of, overarch it and have key traits. But if I was going to pick a few, certainly the people skills would be one of them. A lot of the roles do require you to be very client-facing. You have to develop relationships. You have to communicate superbly well in the majority of positions. So if you want to be successful, then that will certainly help. But being serious and focused about your career, having a clear drive and desire and know where you want to go and a direction in what you're doing will certainly help. And that will be the same with most of the roles that you will see in the sector all the way through the market. So, yeah, it's quite hard. Yeah.
So what do you look for as a recruiter, and what sort of mistakes do people make when they come to you?
Okay, what do I look for as a recruiter? Again, it will depend on the role, probably is the first point to make. But if you're looking at it in general, a junior candidate would probably, someone with a focus, someone with a reason and a real desire to get into property for whatever reasons. But also perhaps an educational background if they're going to be going into more of a professional services or surveying type of role. But if you're looking at positions further up the field, it may be their experiences and who they've worked with and what projects they've worked on, or what their figures are if they're in sales, and how they've performed and where they've done that. So yeah, it can be a multitude of different things.
So say somebody's looking for a career change and they're passionate about property, what would be their best route into the industry?
Well, to be honest, we've helped a number of people from that sort of background over the years, coming from a variety of different types of roles. They may have spent 2, 3, 4, 5 years in other industries and wanted and had a desire to cross over. Probably a point I would make is, perhaps not to leave it too late. If you've got that there, try and exercise that, opportunity and speak to firms like ourselves, or get advice from people in the industry, from friends, from family, from people that about the best routes in. But If you want to go into the professional services side, you're probably going to have to look at retraining. So if you want to be a surveyor or sort of work in real estate asset management, corporate property, then you're probably going to have to look at doing some exams again and retraining. If you're looking at a career in sales and working for an estate agent or property management and customer service, then really you have to look at where your skills and competences are, what you've learned previous to coming across into the property sector, and where you can use those skills and what jobs you may be able to work in. And then the next point is to, come in, sit down, talk to a firm like ourselves, or like I said, speak to some contacts you may have and really get some good sound advice about where your next step's going to be and how you're going to make it. And perhaps even consider the fact that you may need to take a step back or two from where you are, maybe in terms of salary, possibly in terms of seniority, to then make steps forward and get your desired end goal role in the property industry.
Absolutely. James, thank you.
Pleasure.
That was James Hanson there talking about how you can get into the property industry. Well, that's it for today's show, but don't forget, if you have any comments or feedback, you can tweet us at @PropPanorama. Thanks for watching and see you next time.